Am I the butthole for uninviting my parents to my wedding after my mom said I don't care about your effing wedding? I'm engaged to the love of my life. We'll call her Sarah. Sarah doesn't have issues with my parents, but there is a little tension on both sides and no one has attempted to be close, which is fine, I guess. It makes me a little sad that they are not more excited about her. Sarah asked my mom the other day if she would help make centerpieces. Sarah is into DIY, but we are running out of time and she was asking around to see who would be willing to help. She admitted to my mom that it was kind of grunt work and if she didn't want to, no pressure. My mom got offended and said of course she doesn't want to, we haven't cared about her at all, so she doesn't care about our effing wedding. This hurt Sarah, but she didn't fight back. Sarah told me and I called my mom. Honestly, I probably went into it a bit aggressively, but I yelled at her for saying that to Sarah. My mom said that Sarah hasn't included her in any of the fun parts, or cared about her opinion on anything, so why would she help make centerpieces? I asked her to apologize to Sarah and my mom said no, she was done talking about it, so I uninvited her to the wedding. My dad sent me a text, because I said he could still come, and pretty much told me to F off if I thought he would come without my mom. My mom is now upset because everyone is going to ask where she is. Sarah is very happy and feels like I defended her, and literally everyone else thinks I'm the butthole. Question: is your mom right? Was she not included in any of the fun stuff? Because if she wasn't, then I totally get why your mom would be upset. Even if Sarah asked her politely. Edit: based on your comments, I'm editing my comment to say you're the butthole and so is Sarah. You both excluded your mom and everything. Sarah doesn't want her there for any of the wedding stuff but seems to think it's okay to ask her to do emergency DIY for your wedding. I would be livid too, though I would have worded things differently. You are basically telling your parents, my fiancé hates you enough to not involve you in anything, and I agree with her, but you should still want to be at our wedding and play happy family. Edit 2. Several people are asking me why I think mother-in-law should have been invited to the fun stuff, whatever that is. Personally, I love crafting. Smiley face. Like I stated before, I don't think there is any obligation to involve people in your wedding. Though it can be a nice way to get close to family or friends. The reason why original poster and fiancé in my eyes are because they excluded mother-in-law and everything, have disrespected Mill's family, religion and culture on several occasions but get angry that she is hurt. Please click on Op's name to see his responses to see what I mean. And it's fine if you disagree with me. This is just the opinion of a boring 30-something married lady and mom who has the flu and spends too much time on Reddit. Now she is sick in bed. Smiley face. To me, fun stuff sounds more like she wanted to stick her nose in where it didn't belong. Unless she legitimately wasn't invited to showers etc. where she had an expectation to be invited to, in which case, maybe there is a reason for her to feel hurt. But that never excuses lashing out like that. Edit: Uda. I can't believe how poorly she was treated. It's no wonder she was upset. Trying to hide what you did just makes it even worse. To me, fun stuff could mean dress shopping, looking at venues, etc. All things a mother would love to be involved in for their kid's wedding. Sure, but this is the mill, not the mother. Most of those activities are typically done by the bride, and sometimes bridesmaids, and occasionally the mother and mill, depending on the activity and relationships. But as far as I know, it's not expected or customary for the mother-in-law to be involved in everything. I can see that viewpoint too. I was engaged and I did invite my mother-in-law to come dress shopping and look at venues because she had 2 sons and no daughters, and I thought she'd want to be involved and not feel excluded. Original poster said they weren't that close though. And it would feel like a slap in the face to me to not be included in the fun stuff and then asked to do the mundane stuff. She can ask her bridal party and her mom then, since they are the ones who've been involved in planning, in my opinion. My mother is the mother of the groom this year, pandemic permitting. She wasn't invited to dress shopping, to look at venues, or any of that stuff besides the hen do. It's bride stuff and my mom is not the bride's mom, so my mom wasn't expecting it because it's not customary. But my mom still helps with anything the bride asks because even if she isn't involved in the fun stuff, she is still involved in the wedding. So I don't see how some people would say it's a slap in the face because you are asked to help out with the wedding. Me either. I don't get how people treat their kids here. I don't care about your effing wedding. I can't imagine saying that to my son, who is getting married this year, and I'm going to help out wherever I can and am welcome. I'm glad we have a very small family. From Op's comments, it seems as if the fiancé has been fairly continually hostile towards Op's mother, largely because she's in an arranged marriage. Edit: I wrote this poorly. Op's mother is in an arranged marriage. Fiancé takes issue with this as Op's mother takes pride in being a housewife and keeping home well. He needs to add that in the edit. The context isn't framing it correctly. Of course, the original poster is always biased towards themselves, but still. Wow. It's funny how many important details people will leave out of the post to make themselves look better. Where does it say the marriage is arranged? Op wrote in his comments that Sarah doesn't like that Op's parents' marriage was arranged. Click on the username and read his comments. There's a ton of info he left out or just outright lied about. Sarah has lots issues with his mom. One of them being his parents were married via arranged marriage. These things are crazy. At our wedding, my father-in-law stood up as we were saying our vows, loudly said "F this," grabbed Mill's hand, and marched them both out the door. 23 years later, we're still married, and guess whom we haven't spoken to in years? I don't know that they even care. Sorry, that ugly remark ruffled the peace of your wedding, but certainly not the peace of your marriage. Congrats on 23 years. To each their own. I was just saying what I did personally and trying to understand the mother-in-law point of view on why she was feeling hurt. I do not agree with how the mother-in-law reacted though and what she said. That was uncalled for and childish. I guess it really just depends on their relationship. And what fun stuff she was left out of. We are lacking that info. That's the thing, the relationship original poster said it always had tension, and so what bride wants that feeling whilst dress shopping or anything like that? That would be stressful as hell. If they had a good relationship, then yeah, I get mother-in-law being upset, but they don't, so I think she is just being petty and wants to boast that she had done all those things. Maybe I've been reading too much Jamil. But if they have a strained relationship, why is she asking for help from her? It should have at least be the son who asked. If the only time someone talks to you nicely is to ask a favor, it would be hard not to get a bit prickly. Although I think the mother-in-law also overreacted. She could have said no in a much more polite way and could have asked to be more involved with their lives at a more appropriate time. Personally, I would say everyone sucks here. I think the deal was trying to involve her in some small way so that mother-in-law was technically still involved in the wedding planning sort of stage, without making it so that the important experiences, dress shopping, would be ruined. I think she was trying to be polite and involve her for original poster and Mill's sake rather than her own, because clearly, if mother-in-law isn't involved in anything else, the bride had other people. But maybe I'm just thinking the deal had the best intentions in the crafty situation. Mill definitely was out of line though. I mean, Jesus, hell, it went from zero to bitch in a second. I mean, it doesn't sound like she asked impolitely, so regardless of anything else, the response was completely disproportionate. This wasn't a bridezilla moment, but it sure seemed like a AmItheAsshole moment. At first, I thought it was an overreaction too, but after reading some of the comments, it seems that Sarah and her family have been acting racist towards Op's mom. Op conveniently left out that that's why there's been tension. Really? A lot happened since I posted, huh? Then honestly, mother-in-law isn't a butthole if she was left out because of racism, and everyone else sucks. There's a big difference between leaving out someone because you want specific people and excluding someone based on race. Yeah, everything original poster adds makes him seem like more of a butthole lol. It seems that they weren't necessarily leaving her out because of race, but because of the tension caused by racially charged comments. There's some comments that talk about Sarah's family asking Op's mom things like why she is Muslim and if she's Muslim why she didn't cover her hair, etc. Also apparently, Sarah is biased against Op's mom for being in an arranged marriage despite the fact that the marriage has worked out okay. I agree with you, she did overreact in her response. My answer on this post was everyone sucks here because the mom could have been polite when she declined to help. As a mom of 2 sons, I just wanted to recognize your kind gesture towards your Mill. That probably meant a lot more to her than you realize. So this. I am forever grateful to my wife for bringing my mom, mother of 4 boys, dress shopping. It helped build a relationship between the two of them. Yes, and also, if mother-in-law wanted to be involved in more of that stuff, it's up to the groom and the mother-in-law to discuss it. They aren't even married yet and mother-in-law wants the bride to take on all emotional labor for that side of the family? I don't think it's a given to invite your future mother-in-law to the traditional mother-daughter stuff, so if she wants to be included she can always pipe up, "Have you been dress shopping yet? I'd love to come." And then it would be super nice of the bride and not mandatory to include her. Wow, this is not an egalitarian type of attitude to weddings. Are they just for brides all of a sudden? Or do grooms not count? Grooms have their own activities, and I'm fairly sure they don't invite their fathers-in-law to everything either. Anything shared by both bride and groom, however, seems like the perfect opportunity to include everyone. My Mill was looking at venues with us. In a bizarre and unexpected twist, my Mill was the mother of the groom. I never said it doesn't happen. I've just never heard that it's expected that the mother-in-law is there for picking venues, etc. But the mother-in-law wouldn't be expected then to help decorate the venue. It doesn't sound like she made a big deal about not being invited until she was asked to help with the DIY. These things could have also been heavily impacted by the pandemic. Less people at tastings and viewings, no extra walk-arounds at venues. Maybe even no showers. We need more info about why mother-in-law feels so hard done by. Was wondering this myself. We're having a small wedding in the fall, COVID permitting, and I know my mom wanted to do the whole bridal boutique thing, but I'm immunocompromised, and not vaccinated, since the vaccine rollout has been a complete joke. I ordered a dress online, instead. I know she was disappointed when I told her, but it is what it is for now. You can take her to a fitting, alterations appointment. Had she seen you in the dress? You could sew a cute reveal for her. I know it's a special moment. You should definitely prioritize your health, and I hope your mom understands that. If you could figure out a COVID-safe alternative, she would probably greatly appreciate it. Are you in Canada perhaps? Our vaccine rollout is a joke. My mom got ill, COVID caused a stroke, 6 months after my wedding. I am so glad I got to share every one of those mother/daughter moments with her before it happened. I'm in the US, where it is also a complete joke, and so are restrictions. They're already lifting them in my state, despite people like me still being unable to get vaccinated. It's all terrible. Honestly, my mother not taking restrictions seriously is part of the problem. She loves to tell people she's at risk as a cancer survivor, but has been cancer-free for over 5 years, is perfectly fine now, and she won't stop hanging out with her friends at bars and restaurants, and she keeps flying to Florida for weekend trips. I have seen her once over the past year, because she won't quarantine or stop engaging in risky behavior. As much as I want to share in these pre-wedding experiences with her, it's mostly her own fault that it isn't happening. Please read Op's comments. His fiancée and her family were extremely rude to his mother, making digs at her background, the fact that she's a Som and had an arranged marriage. I feel bad for his poor mother, and I can see why she was offended when she was only called up for manual labor. I've been in that position before and it sucks. Fun stuff for me would be things like talking about wedding plans and details, wedding shower/bridal shower, and just general involvement in the wedding. And if that's the only motivation there, fine, she has a reason to be upset and everyone sucks a bit. But many a mother-in-law likes to butt in where they aren't wanted, so I'm not certain that this is the case. Seems like not enough info. Many mother-in-law are like that, including mine. Person facepalming, fair skin, female sign, but original poster gave so little detail that I'm really wondering what the situation is. Is there any rational explanation why would she even be considered to participate in those activities she called fun? If the bride thinks she wants to do it alone or with someone else, what is the problem then? Based on Op's reactions, they didn't discuss any of the wedding stuff and actively shunned mom from everything, besides attending the shower, where mom was the only one from groom's side, and the wedding day. If you have a reasonable to good relationship with your family, you would at least discuss some things or show things like colors, etc., and not just go, "We are getting married. Show up at X date." The end. My now husband and I did everything ourselves and planned everything ourselves. But we did go like, look at the cute decorations we bought, look at the awesome photographer we picked, etc. Everyone was included in the happiness of the event. To be honest, I do not get that. I am not from the US, but I do not think it even matters, and since it is my special day, I do not need any advice from anyone except my fiancé. Why would anyone even be included by default? I'm not from the US either, smiley face. We did need ask for advice and as such did not include everyone in the planning. But we did include them in the joy of our wedding planning by keeping them updated, letting them know what we had planned, discussing our wishes for the day, etc. AITA. Both you and Sarah, but mainly you. You know what kind of person your mother is. You saw how she was actively excluded from everything fun and you never spoke up for your mom or at least got Sarah to try to make your mother feel included. So what if she got invited to the shower? The fact that no one else from your family was invited is pretty crafty. And considering your mother does a lot of party planning, the fact that Sarah never asked for input or even discussed things with your mother is quite the snub. Then when she needed something, she goes to get your mother to do grunt work. No wonder your mother snapped. She should not have used the word she did, but you, instead of diffusing the situation, have metaphorically slapped the woman who gave birth to you by telling her not to come. You totally deserve to be disowned. I disown my son for acting like this. Edit. Thank you for my shiny gold. This is the first one I've ever gotten. Smiling face with hearts. Also thank you for the silvers, 2 hearts. I was surprised to see this many AITAs, for others wandering, and I'd suggest reading original posters' comments. Is a particularly telling one. Web link. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.